Hi everyone, welcome to Mindset Live.
Yes, welcome to Mindset Live. It is a very sunny, lovely Monday night here in New York. I am John.
And I am Renee.
And yes, and this is Mindset Live. And we have an amazing guest on tonight, somebody that we have been really excited about having on for a while. Her name is Ilana Dunn. She's the host of Seeing Other People, the podcast that we were lucky enough to be involved with. And she's going to be on in a second. And she's got some really amazing stuff that she is going to be talking about with you guys. And as soon as Ilana is ready, we have a very big announcement that we want to make, but we want to wait for Ilana to come on, and we want to sort of let her enjoy it with us. I think Ilana is probably finishing up dinner at this point. I know that her parents were very interested in having something to eat.
Anyway, I hope everyone had a good weekend. We had a great weekend. We went to the beach. It was
Yeah.
Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone.
Yes, happy Father's Day, everybody. I hope everybody's had an amazing Father's Day. I had a great Father's Day. I told two of my kids to stay home. I took one to the beach. It was wonderful, and it worked out really well. So we are just waiting for Ilana, and as soon as Ilana joins in, we are going to, as I said, we're going to be breaking some pretty cool news. We were out and about today working on this really cool project.
Yeah, very exciting. We had a good day.
Okay, here we go. She
Okay.
is ready to rock and
All
roll.
right, let's see.
There
Hi.
How's it
Ilana.
going?
Good. I'm so
Good.
happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for understanding the little debacle about my parents debating what time they wanted to eat dinner. Very
Yeah.
much appreciated.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. So anyway,
We, Chuck Dunn did make an appearance on our Instagram. So
well, that's why I felt like we owed him. I felt like we owed him something. I did feel that
He's
way.
a big fan. He's a big fan.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring you on because obviously we wanted to have you and talk about a lot of things, but we have a big announcement Mindset wants to make, and we want to share that announcement with you and with your audience as well. A lot of people had said to us, obviously from our retail background, when are you guys getting back into retail? What's going on? And Mindset has been just this incredible thing. And the most incredible thing about Mindset, outside of the results people are getting, is the community that we've built, right? So Johnny Lazarus, to Ilana Dunn, to the next one, and everybody just joining in and building this community together. Anyway, our community just got a little bit bigger today, and we are announcing that we are going to be back in the retail space for the summer out in the Hamptons with Isaac Boots.
Wow.
So it
That's
is,
amazing.
We have been really waiting for the right opportunity, and this was the right opportunity. I think that, honestly, we were out there today in Wainscott. It's next to Barry's Boot Camp. I've been with some very talented people. This is going to be one of the most exciting retail activations of the year, if not of all time. I mean, it's unbelievable. The brands that are involved and the meticulousness that Isaac is putting into this thing.
yeah, and it's starting July 1st through Labor Day. So it's going to be open 7 days a week, July 1st through Labor Day. It's called the Torch Shop in Wainscott.
Yeah, the Torch Shop. So everybody, we're really excited. Mindset will be the CBD brand that is going to be in the Torch Shop. And so you'll be able to get your Mindset out in the Hamptons the entire summer. So I think that's
Hell
really
yeah. That's amazing. That's so
Yeah.
exciting. I have 2 weekends that I'm going to be out there for engagement parties. So I will definitely make an appearance.
Yes.
Oh, I love
awesome.
that. We need pictures of that, please.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously.
All right. So that was all the good stuff about Mindset. Let's talk about all the amazing stuff about Ilana Dunn and Seeing Other People. First off, I got to tell you before anything else, thank you. Okay, you deserve a thank you. The way that you've embraced our product and our brand and our culture and gave it to your audience, and how your audience has then embraced it, has been nothing short of magical. And I don't take it for granted, and I really thank you. So thank you so much.
Well, first of all, that means the world to me. And thank you both for believing in what Jonah and I were doing and what I'm now doing. Even knowing that you were willing to take a chance on something that had just started out, like that meant so much and gave me so much confidence in making Seeing Other People what it is. So I really appreciate that.
Ah, we love that. Okay, so talk about you. Tell everyone who doesn't know what Seeing Other People is, who doesn't know Ilana Dunn. Let's talk about Ilana.
Yes. So Seeing Other People is a dating podcast that really the point of it is to talk about every possible thing that you can experience when you are dating, when you're using dating apps, just whatever comes with dating in 2021 and the ups and the downs, and really just to bring people together to explain how it's not easy and you're gonna have good times and you're gonna have bad times, but regardless of what you're going through, like you will get through it and you're not alone, and everything that you're feeling is valid because it really is.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing about not alone is so important because everyone, you always think you're the only one experiencing it and you feel terrible, and feeling alone is not good.
No, it's awful.
It causes a lot of anxiety.
It's tough, especially in the like today's world where it's like everyone pretends that like we're all so connected because of social media, and it's like, yeah, of course you know what someone's like going through and what's happening in their life because you follow them on social media, even if like you haven't caught up with them in months. But it's like nobody talks about or shows off the hard things that they're experiencing, things that they don't want to talk about, that they don't want to post about. And so you really are surrounded by all of this, like everyone is just like living the life and having a great time, and dating is great and everyone's in these happy relationships, and that's not always the case. And it's really hard because that makes you feel even more alone because it looks like everyone else is crushing it.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, I can tell you that is the case for everybody. I mean, at 50, at 25, I mean, everybody goes through the same things. Thankfully, CBD has been very helpful, at least for
Yes.
us. And
Yes.
Yeah.
It has.
trying to deal with some of those feelings.
Yeah, because it's not just about dating.
No.
Also, social media is definitely a chat, but it has its great points too. Because look at all that you share on social media through your, through Seeing Other People. That's helping people. So it has, both.
Yeah, I think, 100%. I think nobody would have responded to Mindset the way that they did had Ilana not authentically shown her life and how she used it in her life.
Right.
And she was like, and if people saw that, they were like, oh, okay, this isn't scary. This makes sense. Okay, she's using this for this. This is okay, and I can trust this, and this is good. And then once that started to happen, then it became very natural. And so social media has this incredible ability in that sense because you've been able to spread your love and help spread us and spread our love, out to people. I mean, honestly, that's really what it is. And I think that's really nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for even recognizing that. Because I mean, I think what's so important and how I am doing and how and why I'm doing what I'm doing now is because when I first started like opening up about what I was struggling with in dating, I was like, I didn't think anything would come of it. I was like, oh, like, let me just like talk about something real for a second. And so many people started like messaging me, reaching out, saying that like thanking me for sharing it because they're like, this is exactly what I'm going through. And I didn't know that like this was normal or that anyone else felt like this. So just the concept of opening up and explaining why you need something or what something can really do for you is beyond just like, yeah, the rest gummies help you sleep. But why is that important? Because otherwise I'd be staying up at like staring at the ceiling, overthinking like, why isn't this person texting me back? Is what happens when I don't sleep. So it's like making that connection and saying, oh, okay, like that doesn't need to be happening because here's something that can help.
Right. And if you choose your mindset, that's really the whole gig. I mean, whether it's choosing your mindset and taking CBD or choosing your mindset and just choosing not to have that overthinking, letting CBD help that process. It's the initial intention is to take care of yourself, to
Totally.
figure out a way to make yourself feel better. And if there's a natural way to do it, isn't that better?
Yes. Amazing. And you have an Unfiltered series of Seeing Other People that's new. I know you want to talk about that.
Yes. So I'm so excited about Unfiltered. It launched last week. And for anyone listening who is unfamiliar with what Unfiltered is, because why would you be familiar? It just launched. It's basically, I realized that like there are so many dating podcasts out there. And for the most part, everyone has this rotating guest list of the same influencers, the same experts, the same comedians, the same authors. And yes, those are helpful in their own right. Those are really great to have. Those people do have really good insight, but they're not talking about the shit that we're all going through. They're not talking about the really scary stuff that we deal with or the things that people don't like to talk about. And so the idea behind that was like, well, how can I really make seeing other people like even more helpful? How can it really like connect with more people and help them through whatever they're going through, which has always been the goal. It was like, well, the people who are listening are the people who are going through the stuff and are the people who need help. So why not actually bring them on to talk about what they're going through or what they've been through? And so I'm actually bringing listeners on each week for an unfiltered episode. Most of them are coming on anonymously to allow for the most like vulnerable and open conversations. And they're really, I've recorded, I think 5 episodes so far in the last week. I have 8 recordings this week.
Oh, wow.
And it's been incredible. And the response so far to the first one, so many people have reached out, like more responses and feedback than I've ever gotten for an episode of people saying like, thank you for talking about this. Like, thank you. And thank you to the person who came on for like being so honest about how she was feeling, because she's not the only one. Like, I feel this way too. This just made me feel so much better knowing that I'm not the only one going through it. And so it's really such a cool and I think unique thing. And I mean, the people who have reached out and like pitched their stories, I talked to a girl last week who has all this like religious sexual shame because she grew up super Catholic, where she was taught from day one that like dating is for marriage. Like, if you have sex before marriage, you are impure. Nobody will ever want to be with you. And then she discovered that there's this whole like dating world, and she's decided that she wants to explore that dating world and not like follow these religious beliefs that she grew up with. And so hearing about that, somebody is coming on later this week to talk about finding out that she had herpes and what that experience was like, and having to tell the person who gave it to her, and then being afraid that nobody would ever want to be with her again because of that. Somebody came on earlier today to talk about their first like 2 dating app experiences were terrible and traumatizing, and how she was able to get through that in order to actually end up in a healthy relationship, like how she kind of pushed through. So just really wide variety of topics and things that people don't often open up about, but I think it'll be really good that they are.
I just want to tell you, I mean, it's brave and it's exciting, and we're so happy we're part of it, and we're so happy that we're supporting you in this, because I just love that you're taking these chances and you're going where people need to go, and you're doing it. It's really wonderful. I mean, really fantastic. So.
Really is, and you're helping so many people, and this is like, it's amazing, Ilana, really.
I just love to see, because it's evolution. Everything evolves, and you're seeing this I'm seeing it in front of me. I'm seeing this amazing evolution of this podcast and what's happening. It's really cool to see.
Thanks. Well, I'm honestly just thankful that there are people who are willing to come on and open up. Like, it's hard enough for me even sometimes to open up about things on the show, but these are people who don't do podcasting for a career. They don't go on Instagram Live. Like, they don't get out there and talk, like, open up to people. So it's really inspiring to see that they're like, well, you know what? Like, this was really hard for me, but even if it can help one person, if I talk about it, I'm willing to do that. And I'm so grateful that the Seeing Other People community has those people in it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I heard something once, and I'm not good at remembering what the saying is. And it wasn't a saying. It was someone said something like, if you have a story, if you don't share it, then you're not helping someone. Like, by sharing your story, you're helping, even if it, like you said, just one person. And you'd be surprised how many actual people it really is going to help that are going through the same things.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the big question that I think everybody really wants to know, at least the question I get, is, what do you take before a date? Happy gummy or a calm gummy?
I personally am happy gummy, because calm sometimes, like, if sometimes I could just be like exhausted from the day and like I'm stressed about work, and calm like will help me like kind of like decompress and like not be so focused on like, oh my God, I had such a stressful full day and like tomorrow is going to be such a stressful day. Like for me, like calm gets rid of that. But it also like, I want to go into a date, like regardless of even the CBD like aspects, I want to go into a date feeling happy and like feeling like I'm like in the zone and like on my game and my most self. Like who wouldn't want to date someone who's happy? So
Yeah,
for me, before a date, it was totally like happy gummy every time.
I love that.
That's
I love
amazing.
that. And maybe calm after.
Exactly. Well, I think I've like talked about this on episodes actually, where it's like happy to get me in like the date mood and then calm after, so that I don't start overthinking everything instantly.
Right.
And
Exactly.
what like wondering, oh my, like, because like you get back from a date and it's, at least for me, it was always like I would skip over the part where I would say like, oh, like, do I like them? And I would just be like, do they like me? And that's not how it should be. Like I should be looking for somebody who I really like. And so I'm like, I'm so used to just getting back from a date and overthinking and being like, oh, like I wonder what they thought, or like was the ending awkward? Like when are they going to text me? Like is there going to be a second date? And you just kind of can like calm yourself down and like enjoy the fact that you just went on a good date. Move on with your life.
Now, I never asked you this. Did you ever take CBD before Mindset? Was that?
I remember like a few years ago when CBD was kind of just becoming a thing. My friend, it's like coworker, gave her these like CBD oil, and we thought we were doing like such a bad thing. And, like we were like, okay, I guess we like put a little under our like in our mouth. Like, what do we do? Like, do you feel anything? We had no idea what we were doing. So I don't know if beyond that. I think and Skylar actually gave me a gummy, like a calm gummy when we were on a flight to Florida together. And I loved it and it tasted so good. But other than that, I really don't think so. And I mean, John, hearing you talk about how much it helped your anxiety was just like when we first met, I was like, wow, like that's like, yes, like that is perfect. And that's something that I need. And that's something that so many other people need who like might not know it.
100%. You know, we were at the torch shop today and we were setting up, and one of the people I was talking to was not very CBD comfortable for whatever reason. And after I got finished with the conversation, explains what CBD was. It was just this thing that balances your system. It doesn't get you high. It's just a balancer, right? So anxiety is going to, you know, suddenly not be out of balance and you're not going to feel all this stuff. It's like what you don't feel, right? And suddenly he's like, all right. So I gave him a sample, or he tried the sample. I just got a text before. And he was like, you know what, this stuff works. And it was just like the greatest thing, because if I could just get one person to feel better, it's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. So I'm so glad that I was able to connect with you and then connect with them. And it's
it really is though the same thing like what you said about people, you know, talking about things. Like when I first tried CBD as well, I was very confused. I thought I was doing something bad. I didn't know what I was supposed to feel. And it's all about information. I also think the way and you've said this before, the way Mindset is set up, it really is a little bit easier to understand.
Yes. I really like, obviously I come from a marketing background, but what you have done with actually naming them what it is, it's almost like something I realized recently with even like tweets and memes. It's like the more you dumb it down and just make it like so simple, people are going to be like, whoa. Because we try and overcomplicate things so often. So just saying like, this is rest, this is happy, this is beauty, this is health, this is calm, this is focus. It not only does it make it like easier to understand when you're like deciding what to purchase, but also just when you're talking about it and when you're telling someone else about it, or when you're deciding for yourself, what do you want? It's not like you have to first think of like the name that something is. And then once you have the name, connect it to the mindset, like you just know. And it's fun also just like in conversation. I know there was a comment just now from Carly's who said, I love the calm. I gave her a calm last week when she was super stressed, and she texted me today being like, wait, I love them. I'm ordering them now. Like remind me like the code, the website. And it really is so true. It's just like that you're signing up for what you want when you know exactly how, like you're just saying it how it is.
100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. So what, oh, I wanted to ask you about like dating and anxiety. What are some of the questions? Like, what's the most popular question you get about like dating and anxiety? Like, what is it? What's,
Whew. There's anxiety when it comes to dating. What? I really think the biggest thing is like texting anxiety, and it's so hard because it's not necessarily like there's not like a specific question, but that's just like kind of the topic in general, and maybe like how do you deal with it. But it's really tough because like we all speak a language. We have a language we communicate in. We have body language, but then there's also like texting, which is a whole nother world, and you can't actually read if somebody is like being closed off or like open towards you, making eye contact, and everybody texts so differently that it's really difficult to understand what somebody means when they say something, or if it means something, if the person responded a minute later or 5 hours later, or are they just a person who responds that minute?
Brilliant point. You know, we talk about all the time how we tell ourselves stories, you know, and try to tell yourself a good story. So we're telling ourselves stories all day long. And texts are so ambiguous. You're so right. You could tell yourself anything you want. You could create almost any scenario out of these simple characters based on where your head is.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
I've been like, I seriously, sometimes with my kids even, I'm just like, you have to call me because I don't know what you're saying. Like, I don't know how to take this.
Well, what I think is funny that just with my parents or any of my parents' friends, when I'm texting them, it's like, they'll say like K or okay. And I'm like, oh my God, like they're mad. What did I do? And like to them, they're just saying okay.
Right.
Okay. So I had to change my entire texting vocabulary to my daughter. She's like, you cannot say K. You have to take that. It has to be KK. I'm like, okay, KK. I'm like, how many times do I have to say it?
Yep.
Yeah, no, and I have to put emojis, and it's just yeah, I get it.
No, but that's really a huge point, right? I mean, you're dealing with all the anxiety of all that, and then you're creating what you want out of the text that you're getting, and depending on the time. And I can tell you that I do that in business sometimes. You know, I'm waiting for a certain call or a certain text, and I get a text. It could be I could show Rene the text. She'd go, holy shit, this is the fucking greatest thing I ever saw. And I'll be like, you sure? You sure?
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is.
I'm like, take a calm gummy.
Right. So I can only imagine what it's like for you guys out there.
It really is tough. I mean, I had a recording earlier today, like I said, with the girl who had like did I say this? I don't know if this was just now or in the intro I recorded before. I'm a mess. I had a recording today with a girl who she had two, I did just say this, like negative dating experiences, and then now is in a healthy relationship. And so one thing we kept going back to is like her first dating app experience. After 5 dates, this guy just stopped texting her, literally fully ghosted her after 5 dates. And like, she could tell like after like the 4th date, like his texting started to get a little less, but then they still went on the 5th date, and then nothing, never heard from him again. And so like after that, like that was her first experience on dating apps, was this guy who just disappeared out of thin air. And after that, it was really hard for her because the second anyone else would like take time to respond, the initial thought is, it's happening again. They're ghosting me, because that's what, you know, like that's what she learned from the previous experience. So it's all this like PTSD that we take what we've seen and we build on it. And that's kind of the hard thing with dating, because ultimately like dating it's not going to work out until it does work out. So you are kind of like digesting bits and pieces for a lot of negative experiences. So then when even if something is going well, you assume the worst. Like we tell ourselves a bad story. Like for me, I tell myself the worst case scenario story all the time because that's what I'm used to. And so even
that's
now,
ego trying to protect you. It's the ego, right? Coming in and trying to cushion you so that you something when it's something bad. But I used to do that my whole life, and then and it's so self-fulfilling when you do it. You know, if you keep thinking in the negative and you keep going there, and you don't choose your mindset, those things somehow. You always do find that worst case scenario somehow peaks out sometimes.
Right.
I found that just changing that has been, for me,
Yeah, shifting it.
just been the biggest
Shifting
positive change.
and choosing to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to choose not to do that. I'm going to choose to say, what if? What if this is amazing? What if this works out? What if, all the good what ifs, not the bad what ifs.
Yeah. It's also like realizing patterns that you've had in the past that like you could choose to not do that if there's something that you notice. Like I kept dating the same type of person who was never going to work out for me. And I just kept going after these similar personality types who were very career focused. They all believed that they could never be in a relationship until they achieved like ultimate career success in like their very niche industry where like very few people succeed. And until that happened, they could never actually like commit to me. And I don't know why. I kept going after them over and over. And it took me realizing like, I don't have to put myself in this situation. I can actually choose not to. And that was like a really big thing for me. So I do, that's like one thing that I love with like the whole concept of choosing your mindset. Because even now, like I am in a really healthy relationship for the first time in a long time, maybe ever. And that's been a weird experience for me because I'm not used to it. So I still get anxious sometimes where like, I always ask my boyfriend if he's going to ghost me because that's what I'm used to. Or like, okay, like, well, like now that I met your parents, are you ready to tell me that you're not looking for something serious? Like, so even now, like with that anxiety, like the calm gummy is like all that has been helpful because I can choose to like not focus on that. I'm like, okay, like I am going to, not only am I going to take a calm gummy, I am also putting myself in the mindset, I'm going to be calm. I'm not going to sit here and focus and overthink about this.
Right. And when you're able to remain calm and like not have all those thoughts, you can allow all the good to come in. You can allow yourself to receive all of that good love and attention that you're getting from your boyfriend.
Exactly.
And not be worried about those stories you're creating from past experiences, which are not going to repeat themselves if you don't want them to.
Yeah. It's also like every person is different. Like this person is not the last person who hurt me, or like the last person who hurt me is not the previous person who hurt me. So it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. Everyone comes with their own stuff and their own perceptions, and everything is how you interpret it. So not only are you coming with that, but they're coming with that. So when you have to like try and see things from like, you know, an even place. If you know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. Well, oh, wait, you'll love this also. Whenever we, because we'll like sleep at each other's apartments a lot, it's always like, okay, time for the rest gummy. Like he has his rest gummies like on his dresser. I have mine. Like it's the nightly routine. And if for some reason there's ever a night where like we don't have them or like forget to take them, like it doesn't feel right. Like it is part of the nightly routine in my life now. It's like I take a rest gummy, I taste it, and I know the day is over, and it's so great.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Gotta end on that. That's
I know that is so good. So what would you recommend to people who haven't tried CBD? How would you recommend starting with mindset?
I think either the calm gummies or the rest gummies are a really good place to start. I think the first ones I got were the happy and the rest. I think happy is great also because it's like choosing to be happy, and you can like the rest ones I really recommend just taking at night. But the happy ones take in the morning, like to start your day off right. Anything like that. One thing I will say though is I got my first batch of focus gummies recently, and those productivity has changed.
Obviously, we take credit for Unfiltered.
Yes, no, literally. You understand? I came up with the idea 3 weeks ago, and now it's a whole now it's all I care about in life. But yeah, so I guess either maybe rest or calm I think are good to start with, or happy. This is really hard.
It's all good.
You don't have to choose. You'll never have to choose. But you'll have all the mindsets.
I only have to choose in the moment when I have to choose. Sometimes it is hard. I'm like, ooh, do I like?
But do you ever combine them? Because I do that. Like sometimes, like I'll be really like stressed and I need a calm, but I also need to be focused because I need to get things done. So I
have
take a calm.
I didn't know you could do that until Johnny told me that before he records, he takes a happy and a focus. So I was like, oh, that's a thing. Okay. So yeah, I've done happy and focus. I've done, I think, yeah, I've done focus and calm. One funny thing that happened, this guy who used to live in my apartment building who I was good friends with, I haven't spoken to him in 2, maybe 3 years, texted me last week being like, and sent me a screenshot of his like order confirmation. He was like, I finally caved, had to let you know. And I was like, let me know what you think when you get them. You have to report back. And he texted me the other day being like, so I just tried the happy. I took 3. I didn't know you were only supposed to take 1. So I think I'm about to be very happy. And I was like, oh my God. Well, and I followed up and I was like, so how did it go? And he's like, oh yes, very, very, very happy. I'm like, great.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And if anybody does want to try Mindset Wellness CBD, of course, use the code Seeing Other People. I feel like that code is my favorite code. Seeing Other People, you get 10% off and you get free shipping. And we will take care of your order personally and put a nice little note in it and maybe stamp it with a smiley face or something.
I even sage it sometimes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I swear to God, it's the craziest thing. So Renee has this new thing. Every morning, the orders get filled, before the postman comes, everybody comes. She goes and she sages all the packages and she like talks to them.
Oh my God.
I want you to go do your thing and I want you to make people happy. And
I like to
listen, I figure whatever makes her happy.
Energy.
That's amazing. It's so funny. Like that's amazing. Cause like the little things, like you can tell it's like special and that there's thought put into it. And the note from you two makes it like so great. But even like knowing that's amazing.
My kids are like, what are you doing?
I stopped asking because I was just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is. Go for it. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Ilana. Thank you for everything. And thank you for coming on tonight. We are so excited to continue this journey and let's just keep all the ships rise together. Let's just keep going.
Yes, I'm excited for Unfiltered. Very excited.
Thank you. And I'm excited to see Mindset IRL in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
really cool.
And again, thank you both for everything. Seriously, like just again, knowing that you believe in what I'm doing means so much more than you know.
100%.
Love that.
All right. Thank you, Ilana.
All right. Bye. Oh, thank you, Lauren. She said compliment.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.